Alright guys, this is not an update video that I want to make, but it is absolutely necessary. What you're looking at here is my limited edition Cerakoted tungsten gray finish Fenix PD35 tactical model. Now for those of you who have been subscribed to my channel for a while, you've probably seen my three-part series on this particular model, the Fenix PD35 tactical model. If you go back, you'll notice that most of what I had to say about this model, whether you get the limited edition ones or the regular one, mostly it was positive things. And I still really like this model. I like it a lot. But a couple of days ago, maybe just a little bit longer than that, a little bit, there was an incident. Nothing really serious, but there was an incident while I was using this light for a mundane lighting chore, and it failed on me. Now, to be clear, the light switched on. Problem is, at a much lower setting than I was expecting. This model has a feature in which the very last output level that you have the light set to, and then you hit the tailcap switch to turn off the light, when you turn it back on, it remembers that last output setting. And that's what you get. So I usually keep this guy set to the maximum 1000 lumens. I figure if I need a lower output, okay, no problem. Maybe due to the nature of my security job, it's more realistic that if I'm reaching for this guy, it's going to be because I need to light up an area of the rather large parking lot that I sometimes patrol on foot. So I keep this guy set at 1000 lumens, highest setting, all day, every day. And like I said, thankfully this was just a mundane lighting chore. It didn't involve anything important. But when I went to use the light for that mundane chore, yeah, I got a much, much lower output level than 1000 lumens. Now, because I'm running this light on two lithium CR123A primaries, what will typically happen is if the batteries get very low, the light itself, when you go to turn it on, will after about a second kick down to a much lower setting because there's not enough juice to power that 1000 rated lumens. So the light will actually kick down to a lower setting, and that's a great early warning indicator that, hey, you need to change your batteries, they're dying. And when the light kicked down to a lower setting, I thought, oh, I need to change the batteries. But then I clicked the light back up to 1000 lumens using the selector button. Now on the regular PD35 tactical model with the black finish that button is silver. Here, it's the same color as the rest of the light. And when I clicked it back up to 1,000 lumens, with the light still turned on, I got to that setting and it did not kick down. Yeah, that shouldn't happen. I mean, when the light is off, you can press that output selection button until your freaking thumb falls off. It's not going to do anything. The light is still going to remember the very last setting you left it on when you switched it off using that tail cap switch. It will remember. And I also noticed that the instant I clicked it on, I got that lower setting. It wasn't like a 1 second pause and then it kicked down. No, it was instant. And I am extremely careful to keep this light set to 1,000 lumens. It's not like I used it, it was a lower setting, and I just forgot to put it back to 1,000 before I clicked it off. No, that doesn't happen. I'm very conscious and very careful with that. This light gets clicked off for use some other time. It gets clicked off at the highest setting possible, 1,000 rated lumens. So the light basically failed on me. I was expecting 1,000. I got significantly less output. So unfortunately, in all good conscience, I can no longer recommend a light that's labeled as a tactical model for genuine tactical purposes. If you're carrying your lawfully concealed handgun, you're gonna need a good light, because chances are, if you do need to reach for that handgun, it's going to be under less than ideal lighting circumstances. So you reach for your handgun with one hand, you reach for your main tactical light with the other, you bring the light up, you hit that tail cap switch. Now imagine getting just a few lumens when you need that 1,000 to identify a potential threat in order to see whether or not you need to pull that trigger. Yeah, not good. Now, I've tried to reproduce that failure. Like I said, when this light is off, that mode or output selection button, click it all day, it does nothing. The light will remember the last setting. So what happened? Well, I'm going to have to take an educated guess, because I could not, no matter how hard I tried, I could not reproduce that failure. Couldn't do it. I came to the conclusion that it had to be a combination of two most likely reasons. One, as I was hitting that tail cap switch with the light protruding from the bottom of my fist, what must have happened was I must have accidentally, a split second after I hit that tail cap switch, my finger must have accidentally pressed on the selector switch a split second after hitting that tail cap switch. That is the only reasonable explanation. And I noticed something. The tension on this wraparound clip used to be quite tight when I first got the light. It has loosened up just tiny bit, but it has loosened up just a bit, where most likely, as I'm taking it in and out of the pocket, this clip is shifting over in one direction or another. So instead of holding it and not pressing on that selector button, with the clip shifting over just a tiny bit, look at that, right on the button. So unfortunately, because of that failure, I cannot recommend this as a genuine tactical flashlight. For a light with a ton of output levels for use with mundane chores, it's still great. As a tactical flashlight, you're going to want to stay away from it, guys. I'm sorry. Have a good night. Please stay safe.